Your thoughts and emotions have value. They deserve to be heard. And every day you fine-tune them, the better you will get at navigating them. They can be unimaginably painful at times, but that also means that you can gain unimaginably important lessons from them.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to We Lift Big. I am your host, Bria Gabor, personal trainer, video podcast personality, and award-winning performer. My mission is to educate, entertain, and enact a stronger, happier you. Because when we put in the work to achieve habits for lifelong health and self-love, we open ourselves to the amazing opportunities that come with a life well lived. New content coming out weekly, so I need you to get up, fasten your shoes, and lift big.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, which is the day I am recording this podcast. I hope you all have had a beautiful weekend, and to all the mothers out there, I hope you had a beautiful Mother's Day. For myself, I was able to FaceTime with my parents, and that was really awesome. I wish I could have seen them so badly in person, but just to be extra safe, I talked to them through my phone. And so this week, I want to ask a why question. Why is it so hard to sit with ourselves, to be with our own thoughts? Why do we choose to avoid those things at all costs? Why do we struggle so hard through them when they are happening in real time? Another way I think this question can be asked is, why is it so hard to have difficult conversations? And I say that because I really see sitting with ourselves, especially when we are dealing with something or navigating something, in many ways, it is a difficult conversation that we need to have with ourselves, just as we have difficult conversations with other people. And I'm inspired to talk about this today because I've had a lot of time to sit with myself. And it has made for some very challenging mental days. And most of the time when I'm struggling with my thoughts and feelings, I just like to blame it on that time of the month. And there is some realness there, don't get me wrong. But I'm also finding that in those moments, the thoughts and feelings in my head and heart have never felt so clear. And I am so freaking good at keeping myself busy with work and creative outlets and not always taking the time to look at my insecurities and my fears and doubts, my insecurities around, how good I am at what I do, about my relationships, about things that I want to do with my life and become better at. And now that I've had the time to really address these things for myself, it has made for some really hard days, but also some really beautiful days. But in addressing these, I can finally learn from them and become much better when these things come up into my life and in the moment. And also recently, I've been having some really beautiful conversations with people as we are all navigating this quarantine and the looming transitions back into the world in a way that we have never been more unsure of, and just everything we are feeling and thinking around that. And I hope this podcast helps you feel like you are not alone. And when you are facing some deep internal thoughts or feelings, there is a very real reason why this stuff is so hard. And also, the next deep conversation that you have with someone, I hope that this podcast helps you feel more confident and just have more clarity when you are in that conversation. And so to dive deeper into this, I've chosen 4 reasons that I have personal experience with in the past where I have given myself permission to ignore or avoid hard thoughts and hard conversations. And I'll be real, all of them have bitten me in the ass. And maybe you can relate. And so reason 1, lack of trust in self, lack of worth in self. Reason 2, Fear in the overwhelming experience of emotions. Maybe something is too painful, too sad, too frightening. Reason 3, we are hoping that the conflict or insecurity will resolve itself, or if we ignore it long enough, it will disappear. And reason number 4, we don't know how to navigate our minds or how to navigate the conversation in the moment. We feel like there is a perfect means of navigating, and we don't know what those perfect means are or how to find them. And these are the ones, again, I'm going to break down today, as well as the counters to those thoughts, the realizations that are so important to embrace instead of these reasonings in order to become a more confident version of yourself, to be okay with being yourself, being with yourself, even for extended periods of time, like this quarantine, and to feel stronger in the hard conversations that you have with others and yourself. Before we jump in, I want to share with you one of the greatest tools to overcoming these reasonings that I have used and found to be just incredible, and that's journaling. Because here's the thing. Our thoughts and feelings can show themselves in ways in our heads that are just beyond. And they can shapeshift and contradict themselves, especially when something that we're dealing with is complex and it's difficult, and writing them down grounds these thoughts and feelings. It makes them tangible. It allows us to see them from a third's eye perspective. It gives clarity. And one of the greatest superpowers people can possess, in my opinion, with goals and dreams and to-dos, is clarity. Clarity helps us work through things that we would really struggle to work through otherwise. So to start, the first reason, lack of trust in self. This is one of the biggest realizations I have had about myself in the past 2 years. And my struggles with this really came down to the fact that I didn't believe I knew what was best for me. I felt I was the dumbest person in the room, which is an okay thing to be, but here's the truth. Regardless of smarts, regardless of anything, your thoughts and your feelings are very real. You need to trust that you are feeling them for a reason. And when addressed, they may change on a multitude of factors, but at base level, you need to believe that your thoughts and your emotions have value and that they are there for a reason. And it comes down to a matter of exploring what that reason is and then planning your actions accordingly. And again, that can change on a multitude of factors. You might learn new information and you might change your mind, but in its infancy, when you feel something, when something strikes you, you have to give that feeling value. It is there. It has a purpose. And again, it comes down to exploring why it is there, and then from there, planning your actions accordingly. Number 2, feeling things is really hard. Now, I just listened to Jay Shetty's interview with Glennon Doyle on the On Purpose podcast with Jay Shetty, which I highly recommend. And Glennon shares something that someone once told her, which is that feeling your feelings is just really hard. It takes energy. It takes focus. It's uncomfortable, and in some cases excruciating. But if we can learn how to sit in the thick of our emotions and really feel them, powerful things happen. So here's the thing. Imagine a game of tag. The person who's trying to tag you resembles our emotions. And it doesn't matter where you run, that person is going to chase you down until they get you. But as soon as they tag you, they run away. The internal and external struggles we face are going to chase us down no matter how hard we run, until we finally allow ourselves to accept them, to embrace them. And when we take the time to feel them, to feel how powerful and intense they feel in our body, this beautiful thing happens. They pass. They go away. They say it takes 90 seconds for an emotion to run its course, and it will take 10 times longer if you try to run away from that emotion. Reason number 3, hoping the conflict or insecurity will resolve itself. Well, here's the first thing. It won't. it just won't. It's going back to the game of tag. I mean, we all know the longer someone is chasing us, the more desperate they become. They might jump over fences, squeeze through doors, throw things at you to trip you. I'm not saying I ever played a game of tag like this, but I know through experience that thoughts and feelings that need to be addressed will find a way, and they will not fail. They will find a way to show themselves, and they can start to get really ugly, and they can start to show up in twisted and manipulated ways the longer you run from them. The sooner you are able to address things, the better. The fourth reason is that we don't know how to navigate our minds or navigate our conversations in the moment. We feel like there's a perfect means or there's an ABC method to navigating things. And in reality, there is no perfect way. Some ways are better than others, but in the moment, you are not always going to navigate things as planned or in the best way. It's a learning process, one we will experience and develop through our entire lives. So let go of feeling like you don't know the right way to everything. And if you don't say the right thing, it's going to fall apart. I used to be so afraid that if I said the wrong thing in a difficult conversation, the other person was going to abandon me. And maybe they will. And that's reality. But here's the thing. You can choose to learn from that interaction and become a better communicator. And for myself, I do my best to learn from every interaction, every meditation. And you might feel that if you feel a certain way about something or you approach something in a certain way in your head that you're a terrible person or a failure. And that's not true. Not if you choose to learn from it all, the good and the bad. And ask how you can use these experiences to fine-tune your craft. Every painful or beautiful moment is an opportunity for us to learn and to fine-tune, to be a better communicator to ourselves and to others. And with that, I have some final words. Your thoughts and emotions have value. They deserve to be heard. And every day you fine-tune them, the better you will get at navigating them. They can be unimaginably painful at times, but that also means that you can gain unimaginably important lessons from them. I love you guys so much, and this is definitely a deeper topic, maybe a little bit more intense, but it is one that has been on my heart and is now here for your ears. And I hope that you take this with you, that it again helps you and fuels you and inspires you in all the ways. And I hope that you have a beautiful week. So continue to stay safe and stay strong. I'll talk to you guys soon.